Hello everyone. So I wanted to kind of talk about Silent Hill F, but not really the game like as a whole. Um, I want to talk about this area, but there's many other areas like the one I'm about to describe. But this area over here, it's just labeled Ebisugaoka on the tabs for the map. Uh, it's not a huge area. I don't like in this current footage. This is a save where I don't have the full map like mapped out on the game's map, but this area always had such a very eerie vibe compared to the rest of the game for me personally, but also oddly peaceful. It has this gazebo over here, or would this be considered a gazebo? I guess so. Yeah, it's really weird, and there's a bit of mystery surrounding this forest because I've heard people say, so there's one of these liquor monsters. I don't know if I'm gonna capture it on the footage because this is like literally live right now. But if you played this game, you know the ones I'm talking about. When they catch you, they lick you. Well, they lick Hinako, and I think I hear it right now actually. Well, yeah, one of those things stalks you. Yeah, I hear it right now. One of those things stalks you at this point in the game, and it pops up later and you actually fight it. I think at this point in the game, you haven't actually encountered one yet, if I'm not mistaken. You come here a few times, but... Oh, there it is. There he is. I don't think you can kill him until later. But yeah, I've heard people say that thing... Well, not people. I've heard this once, probably on a, random, stray Reddit post. There's a few things like that about this game. So, these are people with no evidence at all. But anyway, I've heard people say that thing, that monster that we just saw, didn't run... Well, it ran until a certain point, and then it just wasn't hostile and stood there. The person didn't say where, and if I can find the Reddit post, I'll put it on the screen, but basically they said, how that thing just ran from me? Well, I heard someone say it ran from them up to a certain point and then just stopped and just, looked at them. And, if you look at the... Let me look. If you look at the journal entry for that thing... Here it is. I flip right to it. It says they're, greedily staring eyes and greasy palms, they're just disgusting, and stuff like that. Weirdly, it says it never bothers guys. That's weird. I'll get to that in a second. But, so these things, they have a tendency to, according to Hinako, to stalk you, and, they're, greedy and gross, and they're, peering their eyes on you, which is true. You see that regardless. But this person I saw was saying, and shout out to that person if they're seeing this, please, I doubt it, but please let me know, so I can link your post. But that thing would stop, and just look at them, not hostile, and not attack them or anything, and they could just... It could have been a glitch, to be honest, but yeah, and that's really creepy and weird to me. And it's only in this forest, and weirdly, this is something I literally just thought about just now, just this very second. It says, all of it is completely repulsive. What's more, it never even bothers with guys. Typical. So, how would Hinako know that it doesn't bother with guys? She doesn't see these things in the vicinity of anyone else. So, yeah, that's just kind of a weird statement. This area is just... What was that? Had to cut there because I got into a fight, and that's not the point of this video. But this forest is very creepy. There's a lot of really weird noises, and some of the noises, I'm not even sure if they are that thing stalking you, because, yeah, as I said, that thing stalks you here. The reason I have the journal entry is because I believe this game saves the journal entries throughout playthroughs, if I'm not mistaken. So I always thought it was very, very eerie because of all the weird noises and shit you hear here. The look of it's eerie, but it's also very peaceful. I don't know. I like the forest in this area. There's another forest in this game. Further up by... I think by Shu's house. Is it Shu's house? It's further up... Oh, over here. Yeah, this little section up here, I believe is the area I'm talking about. But yeah, there's that other forest. And weirdly is less creepy to me than this one. And less of a feeling invoking area for some reason. But one of the things I wanted to talk about as well is another random piece of information I heard online. This one I actually don't remember where I heard from, but I definitely did hear this. Again, if you're that random person who said this, hit me up for credit. But I heard someone say that you can hear a baby crying in this forest, this specific forest, I guess on the way to Shu's house. And I've beaten this game. I've beaten this game so, like, countless times. Probably 7 or 8 times I've beaten this game. And I think you have to beat it like 4 or 5 for the platinum to begin with, like, to get everything 100%. So you have to play this game a lot anyway, but point is, I played more than you had to, and I've never heard that baby crying, ever, once. I've never heard that before. If you've been in this area and you've heard that, let me know, because I want to know if that's actually true or not. I probably won't actually get an answer unless one of you, like, corroborates that, but it makes sense, because this game has a lot of, you know, like, birth and pregnancy and motherhood themes to it. So it makes sense, honestly. Why this forest, I really couldn't tell you. This is a pretty random forest to have that sound specifically, but who knows? I mean, if that's true, it could just be a random thing they threw in to, like, you know, creep people out. But yeah, again, I've never heard it before, and I've never heard anyone talk about it before besides this one person. And I really wish I could remember. It could have literally just been a tweet or something. I don't remember, unfortunately. But I'm so interested about that, because this forest tries to creep you out to begin with all the random noises and stuff, and, you know, the thing stalking you, which, like I said, at this point in the game, I don't think you've encountered that thing. So it tries to creep you out. I mean, the whole game kind of does, but this forest in particular seems a bit more heavy to me. Maybe that's just me. But because of that, I feel like it makes sense that they would put a random creepy sound like that in this area, because I feel like this area is trying to be a bit more heavy atmospheric-wise, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But point is, I've never heard the noise, and I really want to know if it's true. And again, this was not recently. I heard this closer to launch, like maybe this game came out in September of 2025, I think, and I heard this in probably like not too long after that, like maybe like October. And I was still playing the game by that point, and I thought I would encounter it. By that time, I had already beaten the game a few times, I think, and well, yeah, I definitely had. And I was wondering if, you know, subsequent playthroughs, like, am I going to hear that noise? I never heard it. Never heard it once. I never heard a baby crying in this forest. So I don't know if that's true. I mean, I may just be speculating on something that someone just made up. That's very possible. But if that is true, by any chance, I wonder if it has to be just like either something very, very specific triggers that noise, or it's just a chance thing, like entirely up to chance, and there is no actual trigger for it. Or it could be both. It could be something you have to trigger, but it's a chance to trigger it by doing that thing, if that makes sense. So, I'm about to die on the lowest difficulty. I'm sorry, I have not played this game forever. I'm not gonna die, though, because, I mean, I'm, like, overpowered on this save, even though this is a further back one. But yeah, I kind of just want to talk about the vibe of this area. This whole game has a very oppressive vibe, but this area for some reason feels to me like you're safe. It doesn't appear that way. Again, I just got done describing how creepy this area is, right? But to me, this area feels like you're like there's eyes on you, like there's eyes all over you. Something in this forest, probably multiple things, probably things that aren't even openly acknowledged in the game, are watching you and know you're there, knows about your presence, but they're just watching. Like they're not trying to pounce at this moment. They're just kind of observing. Is kind of what I think about this area. Yeah, maybe these are just ramblings of a madman, but love the vibe of this game. I actually have a full-blown review of this game, but it's privated. Well, no, it's unlisted or privated, because this ended up being like one of my favorite horror games, and I made that video when my opinion on the game was not fully solidified, and it didn't do it justice. At least to me, it was not good enough, and I don't think I'll ever make a video talking about, like, you know, reviewing and talking about the game as a whole, or even my love for it entirely, because I just don't think I could do it justice with how much I do actually like this game, unfortunately. But in that video, I actually did mention the baby crying. I'll probably put the clip in this video on screen. But people claim to have heard things that I have literally never heard once in this game, and I've beaten the game like 6 or so times, like I said. One that stands out to me is that I saw someone online saying that in the forest right before the school, they heard a baby crying, like, pretty clearly. That is, like, that's fucking weird. And if true, but also, like, why that area specifically? I mean, childbirth is... And yeah, that was a while ago. That was quite a few months ago. Still haven't encountered that, as I said. And it's another creepy thing. Yeah, this thing... Okay, this is the encounter with this thing. So these things are supposed to symbolize I mean, you kind of tell from the journal entry. These things are supposed to symbolize, like, yeah, greed and, like, shameless lust, kind of. And, I mean, that's kind of why she says, yeah, they stay away from guys, typical, again. I don't know how the fuck she knows that, but, these things are supposed to symbolize that, right? And these are all, you know, these are women. You know, I forget what these monsters are called, but, yeah, these things are all, notice how they're all dead in here. They're not moving when you walk in here. You see one that is, like, in the process of dying. I think it's implied that that thing in there, I'm pretty sure there's a note around here that maybe hints to this too, but that thing was maybe abducting women, and, well, not that thing, whatever's going on in the real world, this person, whatever this person is supposed to symbolize, I'm sorry, it's been a while, but I think they were abducting women and probably doing a lot worse than that with them, in here. Because, you know, there are just 3 of them just dead in here. And that slimy, disgusting fucking creature. And the journal entry. And this is exactly the place where you hear about that. And it's just like, yeah, it all kind of comes together, really. It's another creepy thing. And that's, you know, that's an entirely, pretty much an entirely environmental... I already tried to pick that up. Pretty much an entirely environmental thing. Which this game does do quite a lot. But this is one of the ones I didn't pick up on for a while. And I feel like a lot of other people probably haven't either. But, I don't know, maybe I was just... maybe I was just really oblivious and found out, like, I was the only one who found that, put that together on, like, my, like, 4th, 5th playthrough. So, but yeah, that's about it. I guess I just wanted to gush about this game because I actually haven't been able to do that on this channel outside of that one video. And I do love this game. You know, I love horror games. I talk about them all the time. This is going to trigger an event, I think. So I'm not going to jump down there yet. But, yeah, you know, I love horror games. And, you know, this is obviously a gaming channel. Okay, I will go down there, I guess. So you'd think I talk about one of my favorites, right? Well, yeah, that whole thing I just explained with... I didn't know how to talk about this game in a way that I was satisfied with. But, yeah, but here it is. So, in this really disjointed, random fucking video, but... I talked about the game, so I wanted to have at least one video on this game that was not privated. Like, just for my own sake, really. So yeah, that's about it. Please let me know if anyone sees this random-ass video. Have you heard this baby crying in this forest, in this, this part of the game is called the Mountain Path. I don't know if I said that earlier or not, but yeah, on the map it just says Ebisugaoka, but this is the Mountain Path. Like, if you look up a guide, walkthrough of the areas or something, go to Mountain Path, and you'll see this area to confirm. So if you want to go searching, I mean, trust me, I already have, but if you want to go searching to see if you can find that baby crying thing anywhere, anyone claiming that, I'm going to do the same again, most likely after this, but let me know if you see anything at all, because I couldn't find anything. I've looked for a good while, and I couldn't find anything, so I'm really interested to know if someone else has experienced this. I'm about to die. Alright, well... Oh yeah, that's about it. That's about it for Hinako 2, apparently. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.